It's Sunday morning, March 1st. March is here. It's about 8 a.m. It was confirmed a little bit ago that 3 U.S. service members have been killed in Iran. 5 have been severely injured. No additional information has been released about the circumstances involving their deaths or injuries. And, you know, but less than 48 hours in, um, I think personally it's a good thing that the supreme leader, the Ayatollah, is dead, has been killed. He's been the head of an incredibly repressive, authoritarian, basically theocratic dictatorship over a country of 92 million people, seemingly the majority of whom do not agree with being forced to exist in a theocratic dictatorship. I was watching Ali Velshi this morning. He interviewed a spokesperson for the Iranian government, and a couple of things stuck out to me. There's dispute over, so there were economic protests. There were widespread economic protests over the last 3 months, and the regime and the Republican Guard cracked down on Iranian citizens and killed several thousand protesters. And the language that this spokesperson used this morning, I don't remember the guy's name, he described some of these protesters as domestic terrorists and basically said that they deserve to be killed. Where have we heard that before? That is exactly how Donald Trump and his administration described Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. The circumstances of the killing of Keith Porter on New Year's Eve remain a bit more murky. But this government spokesperson for Iran was using a lot of the same language to describe Iranian protesters that our government has been using to describe American protesters this year and last year, with all of Trump's Antifa executive orders and domestic terrorist executive orders. They're using the same language. The Trump administration is using the same language as the Iranian administration, a theocratic dictatorship. And that struck me immediately when I heard him speaking this morning. Their government is also vastly disputing the number of Iranian protesters who were killed, who were mainly protesting the fact that the regime under the supreme leader, who within the clerics in Iran, like they have a president, they have a parliament, things like that. But the real power in running the country comes from the clerics, comes from the supreme leader, the theocracy. And the government was spending all of its money funding things like the Houthi rebels and funding Hamas and funding Hezbollah in Lebanon, instead of funding things or funding programs that would benefit the Iranian people. Again, that's a direct reflection of what the Trump administration has been doing. They're spending $50 billion to buy massive warehouses, to build detention centers for God knows who, rather than spending money on things like healthcare for American citizens. The Trump administration is becoming a direct mirror of the theocratic dictatorship in Iran that apparently poses such a threat to the United States that we've engaged in a war of choice to destroy that regime and bring about some type of regime change. When, from where I'm sitting, I'm seeing very little difference between the actions and the words of the Iranian government relative to the Iranian people versus the words and actions of the Trump administration relative to the American people. Both governments are using the same language to describe its own citizens as domestic terrorists. Both governments are spending hundreds of billions of dollars to clamp down on their own citizens and to engage in bullshit abroad, little military adventures, rather than spending any money to actually help their citizens. And so the widespread protests that went on in Iran over the last few months had to do with economics and had to do with government spending and the priorities of the government and the treatment of its civilians by the government. The same shit that is going on here, the same shit that we are protesting here in America. And Donald Trump most definitely wants to be the supreme leader of the United States and wield the same type of power over his citizens that the Ayatollah was wielding over his. But, you know, we do our stuff with a backing track of country music that's patriotic, so I guess that would be the biggest difference. It's the same fucking shit, man. It's the same shit being done by these governments to their own people. Let alone, you know, I mentioned this in a video yesterday, you know, it's like I was trying to figure why Donald Trump allows Bibi Netanyahu to just fucking dog walk him all over the place. Donald Trump is envious of the power that Bibi Netanyahu, this Israeli government, and the Israeli military wields over its own citizens, Palestinians within the state of Israel. Donald Trump desperately wants to treat people in the United States who disagree with him politically the way this Israeli government and Israeli military treat Palestinians within the state of Israel. Second-class citizens, killing them at will, imprisoning them for no reason other than political disagreement for decades on end. The same thing that the Ayatollah and the clerics do to their citizens in Iran. That's what Donald Trump wants to do with his citizens here in the United States. The only difference is the relevant religious text. The Quran, the Torah, the Bible. It's all the same shit. Old men with small dicks who crave power. And we are all at their fucking mercy, man. We are all at their fucking mercy.